We
I
are
see it.
live, and now we're going to be live again.
Now
it says it's streaming.
Now we're streaming, but something is crazy. Somehow something is wrong. Something is rotten in Denmark, and I can't figure out what it is. So, whatever it is, I've screwed the pooch on this one. That's for sure. So there you go. It looks like we've been live. Whatever. Now let me see if I can figure this out. I started something new. I downloaded Ecamm Live, and with Ecamm Live, that is now instead of using Camo, I'm using Ecamm Live. Unfortunately, right now, I can't find any of my controls, so I can't figure this out whatsoever. But that's what happens when you start something new. And I tried testing it. So there's Zoom. I am in Zoom, Windows Zoom. There it is, Zoom Workplace. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go. I'm getting some sort of understanding here. Let's hide Chrome.
I got a message that's saying where it's being sent to a third party.
Yes, that's what I said. It's there we go. Now I've got it. All right, there we go. All right, welcome everybody. And the countdown timer is almost it's like 2 seconds, 1 second, and boom, here we go. I love it. There you go. But that's nothing.
Hey. Wow.
That's nothing. That's nothing. Wait, I'm so confused.
Anyway.
That's right. I've been playing with my graphics. There you have it. All right. So who's got something that they want to say? And if you want to say something, it's thinking out loud with friends. And remember, everything you hear today is an opinion. So do your own research and welcome everybody to the show. So
don't play with
who's got something they want to say?
Too much, Jan, or you'll go blind.
What? Don't worry about me.
Too much, you'll go blind.
Don't worry about me. By the way, guys, I'm going to see something that you're going to be. I'm putting you in now that you're going to be seeing some things here that you haven't seen before. But don't worry about a thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, who's got something they want to say?
Well, I have a question. I want recommendations for the Amalfi Coast in Italy, where to go and what to see. Somebody here must have been there. Chris, you?
Always wanted to do it. Apparently, that's a great drive for a Ferrari. Never did it. And unfortunately, I never went to that section of Italy. I did stuff down in Palermo and some of those volcanic islands off of Palermo, but I never did the Amalfi Coast. It's supposed to be absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I'm going to be there this summer. So, look, I'm trying to plan my 4 days there. We're on a cruise from Amsterdam to Basel, Switzerland, and then we fly to Naples, get a car, and go to the Amalfi Coast. So
I kind of think you really can't go wrong. That's just one of the most exquisite places on Earth.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I thought maybe somebody here might help me. Look, there's two of me. Jan is
yeah, this is the new.
Oh yeah,
look at that.
a new toy.
That smile, Jan's just.
Yeah, there's two of me, and now two of me. Yes, there's two of me and one of you. That's it. But whatever it is, okay. Yeah, it's. I'll figure this out. Actually, after we go offline, you guys can help me figure this out. So basically, the Ecamm Live is what I'm doing right now, and it is actually a camera switcher. It's more than a camera switcher. It gives me the opportunity to do like the lower thirds and everything else like that, and I tried organizing myself to the point where it would work. Like for example, here's one, but nothing seems to be working right now. So, what can I say? That's the side. And meanwhile, now I have, there's 2 active streams going on at the same time, which is really weird, really weird.
Hey, David,
I can't figure that part out.
Rick Steves just updated his Amalfi Coast segments for this year. So you might want to just go to ricksteves.com and spend $40. You might be able to get some ideas.
What's it called?
Rick Steves, you know, the guy from PBS.
No.
Rick, RACKSTEVES.com.
Okay.
Or just Google it.
All right. Well, anything that I'm looking for anything.
Yeah.
Got 4 days there, so do we go to the Isle of Capri or do we stay on the mainland? It's that kind of stuff.
Somebody just
Somebody dropped you some suggestions in the chat.
Well, okay.
somebody was in chat GPT, I see.
I've kind of done, I've done
I'm just looking at Jan, who's smirking, so he must know what's going on here. Look at him.
He looks like he's frozen.
Oh, he is, in fact. I thought he was, in fact, he is. Ah, there he's back now. Okay, yeah.
No, he's still.
Oh, we
He's
got one
still
frame.
frozen.
Now he's smiling.
Yeah, he's got a new frame where he's smiling, and then he'll have one where he's grumpy. Should be pretty good.
So much for that app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't hear him. I guess it's just us. We can all talk amongst ourselves now. All right, Tina, you're in charge.
That this basically, yeah. But am I? I got two streams. I just go into this.
Yeah, and now you've got like
Hear me?
more-
You can hear me. If you can't, you can't.
No, I can hear you, but you got more delay than the sphere.
I'm going to have to either.
Yeah, I think your computer's a
he
bit
has it.
overloaded.
It's because
there,
you have two streams going. You got to cancel that live on Ecamm Live.
What are we, your beta testers? This thing sucks.
Live on custom live streaming service.
Haven't you heard of sound checks, Jan?
Nothing. You're
Yeah.
in the glacier. You are frozen.
Everybody join in.
Live long and prosper.
Okay, there we are. That was fun. Yeah, it almost does look like a Vulcan wave. It could be.
So talks amongst ourselves.
So, David, how was the run? You just got off of the road.
I got off
Cut
and
this out somehow, but my computer is own thing without me. Stop that Ecamm Live stuff, and I can't. There.
We can hear you, but we don't have a picture.
Oh, now he's black.
Good God, this is a disaster.
It is unmitigated.
yeah, we agree. So we're in the process of getting Hotel California in-ear monitors. And, I've known Marty Garcia from Future Sonics for a long time, and the concept of Future Sonics is instead of all those drivers, which are just little moving hammers, he's got a coil speaker in his, just a single coil speaker, and it sounds like that could be a really good advantage over all the
What's the
drivers
frequency?
in one.
What's the frequency response on it? Do you know?
Huge. It's huge. It's just like all the other ones. And he gave us a set of the generics, his top of the line generics for the band to try, and they loved them. But they all insist on soft silicon on the inside. They don't want hard. And he makes those. So that's the next step, is to get them all together and probably end up buying 4, 5, or 6 of them. And the band will be, happy.
So do
Would it be,
they mix their own in-ear monitors? When I was at Infocom last week for the few hours I was there, I ran into the people that I saw at NAB like 6 years ago that have, I wish I could remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. They have these little personal mixers, and everything runs on Cat5 cable to these things.
Oh, yeah. The Avion.
Mine-
No, it was something live. I think I forget what it.
Behringer?
No, it wasn't Behringer. No. It was a. Let me look it up and I'll see if I can find it in my emails. But
Well, this band has a QL1 32 input console off on stage left or stage right, depending on, the interface. We have a splitter system, so we got 32 analog outs to hook the front of house. But the rack has got 3 quad Avion. I forgot the word. The Shure mics. I can't think of the word. What's the top?
Axiom?
Axiom?
Jesus, Axion. 4 Axion. So there's 12 mics for transmitters, and then they've got 6 in-ears for the 5 guys, all in a rack, all Dante, all hooked together. And being that they carry their own microphones and they set their own microphones up, the sound is the same almost every night. So there's very little mixing going on at all. And it's pretty well contained. So that's
would it be uncouth to ask what those retail for the particular model that you guys are evaluating?
they're about $1,300. So they're right up there with everybody else, maybe a little less expensive than everybody else. But we'll see. I mean, I've known Marty since he started in the business, and we just never talk. And we finally connected, and we've just been talking and, catching up on 35 years of history. But being that I was working with Engelbert back in the early 80s when we were trying those, we were one of the first acts to ever do it. And Marty hadn't even started Future Sonics yet. He was still with Crystal Taylor Sound. So we had a lot to talk about. And he's certainly come a long way. I mean, he won the Parnelli Award this year for Audio Innovator. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's where we're sitting. We're not quite finished yet. We're buying some cards for the QL1 to get more outputs, 16 more outputs. And we're getting there. We're almost complete to where we're fully Dante'd. We're still a little bit analog, but we will be fully Dante'd soon. And it's a very cool system. I mean, we're set up and ready to go and finish with sound check sometimes in just over an hour and a half. That's like no time.
That's very effective.
Yeah, 90 minutes. We start setting up at 1, we're finished at 2:30. Then we have nothing to do till 7:30, 8 o'clock. Every day. It's pretty good.
And how are the isolation with those in-ears? Do they isolate pretty well?
Well, these aren't molds. These are just for the guys to listen to hear what his concept of audio is and then say, yes, we like that frequency response. We like that curve. Let's get molds made. So that's what these were just like, here, let the guys listen to it. You do a show, then you do the next show. And we had 11 shows. So we had enough shows for the guys to try them and decide how much they really like them. They like the sound. The drummer had never had quality earpieces in before. And he went, holy cow, I can hear my drums. It was like, this is great. So they're all jazzed up about, getting new in-ears. So, and in the meantime, I'm getting those cards and we're still working on the rack. We got to move the drawer down further so we can see into the back because there's an overhang, little things like that. And then the PSMs don't have Dante. They don't have, they hook together in a circuit, but they don't have programming. But I can buy the Avio, which Dante makes, which is 2 XLR outs, or 2 XLR outs. And so everything's going to be Dante. It's going to be pretty cool. Starts up, runs first time, every time. We're moving.
And all of the array and the subwoofers, everything's on Dante.
Are you talking about the PA?
Yes.
Well, we're at PA du jour. We just
okay.
we have a splitter with tails. The tails go into the house system, and I use the house system. Whatever.
Gotcha. You go with
because it's PA du jour, I have a file for every console imaginable, including I just used the wing, the Behringer wing, which turned out to be pretty cool. I liked it a lot. So now I have a file for the wing. There's only a couple left that I haven't done that I don't have a file for, and I don't even know what they are. But I know they're out there.
DM7?
Oh, PM7, PM3, PM10.
Yeah.
No problem.
No,
Yeah.
DM. Yeah, the new digital one.
Oh no, the DM. No, I have not used the DM, and I don't think I will. Doesn't it have a limited number of faders? Like 16 faders?
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Not enough.
Yeah.
I need 16 plus 8.
You know, it's 16 in 4 layers.
Yeah, but I need 16 on one layer plus 8.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they make one, David, but it's, you're talking a 6-figure console, and you're not going to find many places that are going to have 6-figure consoles unless you're doing unless it's a really off night.
Or I mean, if it's a 6-figure console, it's not going to be a DM. It's going to be a PM. So
No, there's 6-figure. I mean, go to Sweetwater and look up the DMs. You can get $100,000 DM7.
Hey, you don't have to go to Sweetwater. You can go to soundbroker.com. I'm not that I'm
right,
advertising
right.
here, but you know what the hell? Sweetwater, what the hell are you thinking of?
I thought I'd squeak that one in while you were playing with your graphics. So
Well, here. So basically, what happened is I've overloaded my computer and I understand now what they're saying. When you bring in too many people into the Ecamm Live, it takes a lot of memory up. So I need more than 16 gigs of RAM to actually run the whole show from here. So basically, it's really they have to work on that to get the memory hog aspect of that app down. But I could do one or two, or I could do my own camera as well. But that's the story, and here I am sticking to it. But it's really a cool app. I mean, it's an extremely cool app, and it takes a lot of. It's not like something you could just go boom and you're running on it. It's not that simple. It's not not really simple. It's simple when you know how to do it. Like anything else in life, it's simple. But I know we're streaming live, but I don't know where we're streaming live to now.
So the one thing you got to be careful with the Apples now is with the new silicon on the M2 and M3 chips, the memory is soldered onto the motherboard. So when you buy it, that's what you get, and you cannot upgrade. So if you buy a Mac Air with 8, thinking, oh, well, I'll add another 8 gigabytes later, no works. It's you buy, and that's what you get, and you can't upgrade. So be careful when you dimension your systems that you add some extra stuff.
So I have 16 gigs of RAM, right? And right now I just downloaded this app yesterday, which I really like. It's called Free Memory. If you're using a Mac, it's called Free Memory. And basically what it does is it tells you how much memory is your computer is using. So right now I've got 16 gigs, and I have available at this very moment in time, looking up at my screen, I have 6.37 gigabytes left of free RAM. Right.
Right.
So that should be more than enough, but it doesn't work that way. There's more to it.
That doesn't work that way. The kernels in all of these operating systems also use swap memory. So you can basically, it's possible to tell your computer to, instead of keeping stuff in live RAM memory, to swap it out to disk, but then you have the IO time to go over and grab it off of a disk and bring it back into RAM. So it's always better to just buy more memory than you think you're going to need, and you'll be happy. I got a really great deal on a Mac Mini with an open box, and the guy knocked another couple of hundred. I paid practically nothing for it, but it's got 8 gigs, and that's it. I'll never have another gig in that box. So it's tailored for specific use, but yeah, you got to be RAM, and particularly in the world of video, it's all mathematics. It's just like bandwidth. So the number of pixels and all of that stuff, and being able to manipulate those images in memory, it gets eaten up very, very quickly. A lot of guys that are using Avids and doing video work, it's kind of like a minimum of 64 gigs and usually 128.
Right. All right. I just figured out where we're streaming to. We're streaming to YouTube. I don't know about Facebook right now, but we're streaming to YouTube, and anybody who's watched this is really laughing their ass off on how I fucked it up. So there you go. What can I tell you? Hey, what a bummer, man. Willie Mays, I didn't even know he was still alive. 92 years old,
Yeah.
Nice guy.
right? 92, 93.
Very nice guy.
Yeah,
Very
I had
sad.
the pleasure of meeting him once, and what a nice guy. You
How
know.
can you stay out of the news for all these years? I mean, I didn't know he was alive either. I mean,
Yeah,
you'd think,
there are plenty of people like that that are alive and you didn't know that they were alive because, they're out of the public eye.
yeah, but he's one of
I'm
the
not
most
one of them.
famous. You figure something would happen, some award, something to put him back in the public eye.
Yeah.
I
It's
guess
kind
not.
of interesting about him though, is that, I didn't even realize this, of course, is that he got put in, he won the award after he had stopped playing because they didn't have the awards while he was playing.
Yep.
But I can't think of another catch that's more famous than the one that he made running towards the wall and not even looking towards the home plate when he caught the ball at full speed. And then he threw the ball. And I don't remember what happened. Nobody ever says whether he threw the guy out or not, or he even had the ball on the field. But it was a great catch.
Yep, they're
Oh, yeah.
rebroadcasting that on all the news stories about him. They had it on one of the news stories that I just happened to be walking by the TV, and there it was. I said, "Wow, what a great catch!"
It's the news loop. You would think that's the only thing that went on in the world at that moment in time. Willie Mays died. Everybody else stopped. The stock market closed. The weather, that's the end of the weather. The weather became normal. Everything, nobody's fighting anywhere in wars or anything like that.
Well, the stock market
The
was
peace in the
closed
Middle
today,
East.
Jan.
Yes,
Banks
it's
and
Juneteenth, right?
yep,
Is it called Juneteenth?
yep.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know if is the stock market completely closed or just the bond market.
U.S. stock markets were closed today. The Dow Jones and Nasdaq were closed.
Okay. Very good. Well, hey, I noticed you're wearing the Artemis hat.
That's right. That's right. I
know?
got confirmed.
I
So-
love that show. I love that show, The Wild Wild West. Artemis Gordon. Wow, one of my favorite
No.
heroes of all TV time. Oh, that's not what that hat's from?
No, it's from
Oh.
from my last big mix. So
Very
all 12
cool.
seconds of it.
Very, very cool. And you know what's happening right now with the Starliner, right? Up there in space. Another Boeing disaster.
Really? What's happened?
They remember the helium leak that they had
Yep.
before launch? Well, it's worse.
And what does
Wow.
that mean?
That means
means
everybody's
that-
talking very high. And
If you got
Limited
too much
use of
helium, you
thrusters
could
right
die.
now. They're trying to figure it out.
It's return rockets that aren't working right because of the helium.
Yeah,
So they can't bring them back to Earth until they get it fixed.
yeah.
But helium is an inert gas.
But it's used for propellant on thrusters.
Oh, they're using it for stabilizing.
Yeah.
Okay.
For steering, yeah. So they're not going to let it go from the station because they can't steer it.
Oh, isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, the door
Yeah.
could fall off. Maybe the door's going to fall off, just like on the airplanes.
Yeah, they forgot
I
to-
was
they
watching
forgot
this.
to bolt
I was
for the
watching
door.
the news. Speaking of the news, right? And they some I don't know what channel it was, but they had this guy from Boeing who was one of the whistleblowers, and he said that he won't fly on a Boeing plane. As a matter of fact, he got off the plane when he found out. When he got on the plane, he saw it was a whatever the 737 or whatever it was that they had. He says I wouldn't fly on it. He got off. But they're
But,
having
you
some
know-
problems. Boeing is having
But
some problems. boy.
That's setting Boeing's problems aside. I saw that too, and I thought that was more of a publicity stunt because what your aircraft is going to be before you get to the gate. I know. I'm flying on a 757 or Airbus A320 Neo or 319 Neo, whatever. I know what aircraft I'm on before I get
Right.
there. So this whistleblower saying I got on the aircraft and I saw it was a Boeing and I got off. Well,
He's just blowing his own horn. That's all.
yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would get off the plane. Well, I don't know if I'd book any. I haven't booked anything. And I guess I really don't have much of a choice of what airline is flying when you want to go someplace, So, I mean, hey, life is a crapshoot as it is,
Yeah, I don't even think about it. And I'm flying
Yeah.
constantly.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got to think of the millions of flight hours that accumulate, thousands of flight hours every 24 hours. I
Yeah,
mean,
what, a couple hundred flights a day in the U.S., just the U.S.?
oh, God, it's a crazy number of hours.
Yeah, if you look at that TripAware and you go online and look at, I think it's called TripAware or FlightAware.
FlightAware.
FlightAware 24. Yeah.
And
No,
you go
that's
up there, you see,
Flight
it's just
Radar
shocking how
20.
many planes are.
Yeah, Flight Radar 24. Yeah, sorry, Chris. You're right.
Yeah, no, that's it. But that's a great app. I used that, believe it or not, when I was driving across the desert because they have all these signs saying, road is patrolled by aircraft. Oh, well, I just turned on Flight Radar and I can see if there's anybody flying parallel with the road.
But that's only if they have
Oh.
their transponder on.
Yeah, well, I think they're required to. So, interestingly enough, in the desert, I was passed by a low-flying military chopper, and I looked at FlightAware or Flight Radar 24, and he wasn't on it. But when he swooped up, his transponder was there, and he came on the map. So, I think with the smaller aircraft, they're probably flying VFR, but they've got a transponder.
Well,
Yeah, they can't be
that
flying
may
without a
be true,
transponder.
but there are military. They have the option to turn them on or turn them off.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
for sure. And also Homeland Security. Okay, prisoner transfers, things like that. If you're transferring somebody from one federal facility to another, they don't show up on Flight Radar 24 because they turn their transponder off.
How could that be? Other planes have to know where they are, and so does
Radar.
air traffic
ways.
controllers.
Radar. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Plus, they have that. They're flying IFR. They file their flight path and all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of flight paths, I also read an article this week that NASA. Now, NASA's pretty amazing when you think about it, But what they've been able to do now, they've been able to reconnect to the Voyager 1, and it's now 15 billion miles from Earth. It's in uncharted territory, and they're now communicating with again. 15 billion miles away. 15 billion with a B. That's more hot dogs, and I mean more hot dogs than McDonald's sells, because McDonald's doesn't sell any hot dogs, but hamburgers. 15 billion. That's 15 billion with a B miles away, and they're controlling it.
What makes that an amazing accomplishment is that the incredibly genius people at JPL sent this old code that's running on the Voyager 2 spacecraft. They rewrote it and sent it wake up commands and had to rewrite on the fly billions of miles away. And that is just unbelievable that they
Anybody know the round trip time? 15 billion miles? That's got to take a while.
Well, I'm sure.
A couple of tanks of gas for sure if you're going to drive.
Oh man, no, I mean seriously, 15 billion at the speed of light, that's going to take
It's probably an hour and a half. It was around when it was still in our solar system. I think it was around 45 minutes. But now that it's out of our solar system, I'd guess an hour and a half.
Oh, I think 15 billion miles at the speed of light takes a good while.
Well, what's
Yeah.
even more amazing than that is when did they launch this sucker? I
Oh,
mean,
man,
how
yeah.
long ago was it?
That just
Wasn't it
shows you
late
the
70s,
beautiful,
wasn't it?
the beauty of simplistic design. Yeah.
And it's
Just
still
like
working.
analog consoles.
And it's still working. It's still working. Speaking of analog consoles, I guess Chris must be working. I mean, Kurt must be
22
working.
and a half hours.
Wow, that's a long thing. It's a
That-
long
that-
flight.
that's
It's almost like
halfway.
flying from Thailand to the US.
It's
No,
45 round trip.
that's just
22.
22 and a half hours is the signal just for a response to return, like a signal.
That's correct. Yeah, that's half the round trip time. So it's 45 hours round trip. At the
Yep.
speed of light, that's a significant delay if you're on stage singing.
Yeah.
You complete the show, pack it up, and then comes out of the speakers.
That's one
Yeah.
hell of a sphere.
It's like the Eagles. You know, what could I say? You know, I know what you're thinking. What the hell does that have to do with anything? The Eagles. Well, I'll revert it back to the Sphere with the delay, and the Eagles are now doing a residency at the Sphere.
Oh, interesting.
Dave, have you heard anything
September,
about that
isn't it?
being with Hotel California?
What about the Eagles?
Yeah, did they talk about the Eagles or anything like that over there on the
Yeah.
bus?
Yeah, we talk about it, but there's not much to say. I mean, they're playing a place with a tiny stage and no production values at all, limited lighting for the band. Even at the closest you are, you're far away from them. To me, it's an experience to see the video, but I wouldn't ever want to go there just to see a band. I don't think it's going to be as good as a real concert.
In the
Well,
backlands, they're taking bets on how many days they're going to add to the tour. Because right now it's what, 3 weeks or something like that. But they've supposedly, from an insider, there's an additional 45 days on the calendar.
You mean at the
It's-
I
Three
didn't. I thought
weekends,
I
isn't it?
thought they were already stopped. I didn't even realize they were still touring. I thought they had stopped touring the Eagles.
It did for 15 years. They were on a finale tour.
Yeah.
Just like the Stones.
Ah.
How many finale tours of the Stones done now? 4?
Yeah, but the Stones get along. The Eagles are a whole other story. Just the fact that they're performing on the same stage without killing each other is like a minor miracle. So, this is not the let's keep touring for the rest of our lives thing. This could be like the last big tour, and maybe once in a while they'll do a show.
Yeah.
Well,
this is
you got to
called
ask
Let Me Pay
yourself
My
this
Taxes
question.
Tour.
You got to ask yourself this question. I mean, how long can you keep touring? I mean, McCartney's in his 80s, Jagger's in his 80s. I mean, how many more? How Manilow's in his 80s. How long could these guys go? I mean, how much long? I mean, the longer they go, the better off. I feel about my own self. But the reality is, these guys are getting older and older, and it's not so much the wear and tear of being on the road, which is definitely wear and tear, but there's also the fact that you're performing, and how can your voice maintain its tonal quality, or your ears, your hearing, all of that stuff goes, so the question is, how long could they be doing it?
It's truly amazing.
Well, I got the answer. As long as people will willing to pay the money to go see them, they'll keep doing it.
That's right.
Well, Kurt
it's a
said
financial
2
question.
weeks ago, right? Or maybe it's 3 meetings ago. He had just come back from seeing the Stones and said, "Oh, speaking of the guy."
Speaking of the guy, his ears are burning. He is connecting. Yes. He is now in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. I don't. There he is. I see him now.
We were just speaking about you.
What did I do now?
Nope.
Well,
You
you're
went
an
to the
analog
Stones.
guy. We look at you as like an analog guy. We're talking about the Voyager. How
We're
old
talking about
it
the
is and how
Voyager
it's
spacecraft and how analog is good.
It's still working after all these decades.
Yeah. So where are you now? Are you in Bend?
No, I'm at Redmond, right by Microsoft campus for the first show at Marymore Park.
Wow, very nice. Wow, that's a lot. There's a lot of people showing up for that.
A lot of folding chairs.
It's a small
What's
small Panther rig.
Oh, Brit Floyd. That has
Oh,
to
it's
be.
the Brit Floyd
Yeah.
show. I saw the
Brit
round
Floyd.
screen.
Yep. Sound check was cool.
What-
Sounds good.
what is Brit Floyd? Is that the band the Hotel California for Pink Floyd?
Pretty much. There's them and there's the Australian Pink Floyd, and those are kind of the two big Floyd groups.
Yeah, it's one from Britain and one from Australia. I've seen them both.
Yeah.
They're both
So-
real good, actually, Fred. I like them.
Between
Yeah,
the
they
trim
were.
height, to get the trim height of last year with the taller subs, it essentially looks like a ground stack.
Yeah.
It does. So tell us about now how many boxes you got flying and how many subs do you have flying? And do you have anything ground
It's
stacked?
8 Panthers, and they are about 2 inches above the top sub, so they are flown. And then there's 3 2100s aside with the center one and cardioid backwards.
Are
And
they all
the
flown or do you have anything ground stacked?
subs are ground stacked on the stage.
It looks like the subs are flying.
They're not.
No, they're on wheelbases on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
But there's like 2 inches between the top of the sub and the bottom of the Panther.
Yeah, and so it looks like it's all hooked up in one rig from flying from the rafters.
Definitely not hard to phase align because they're all in exactly the same plane.
Yes.
And you're able to fly all of that with one 1-ton motor?
Oh yeah, that's 1,200 pounds of flown PA.
Wow.
We're 800 pounds under limit of one motor. Yeah,
Wow.
Panther
that's
is incredible. It's very light and very powerful.
That's incredible, I have to tell you. Incredible. And we have somebody in the room that went to the Meyer encampment there in Berkeley, and they let him out. Unbelievable. Most people never leave.
Yeah.
There he
So
is.
you have to pay to get out.
Well, and then he tried to blow himself up by denting his gas tank.
That's right. Exactly.
Whatever
Yeah,
happened
see,
with that?
Well, I'm going to take a video. I have to do that, but it basically, I went over a stump in the snow and high sided my car. Although I didn't realize that at the beginning, I thought it was just the snow. So I put in the max tracks and all that, and it wouldn't move. And then I ended up winching myself out, and then I noticed that there was actually a tree stump on the thing, and the tree stump fell over, but I compressed my gas tank significantly.
Now, do you
What
find you
desk
get
are
better
you
gas
using,
mileage
Kurt?
now?
Sorry, Greg, what was your question?
Oh, it was for Kurt. What desk do you have out front?
It's tour. He's got an SSL.
And that's unusual. There's not a lot of touring SSLs. Is it the
It is.
500?
Oh, what is this thing? I don't know. Can't see it.
Cute
looks-
looking board.
Looks nice. It looks easy to understand.
Yeah. I think that board was designed during Peter Gabriel's tenure of owning the company, but I don't believe he owns it any longer. I think he sold.
Oh, and this is a relatively new console. It's not brand new, but it's maybe a couple of years old.
Yeah, I saw that at Infocom.
I'm sure it sounds good for digital.
Well, there's nothing like a gamble, Where did you get that hat?
I had them made. I hired a graphic artist friend to recreate all the original Gamble logos, and then I had all of the swag built. The original
Did you send
files.
Jim one? Does Jim
Yeah,
have one?
Jim's got a whole collection of stuff. He's got all of it. There's all kinds of different items.
Very, very cool. Very cool. I wonder if we could get him on one day. It would be fun to see him again.
Never in a million years. I was in San Diego and I tried to take him to lunch, and he was like, "Nope, me and the dog, and we don't leave the house."
Yeah, yeah. I think Henry
tried.
Austin is talking with him.
I don't know who that is. Who's Henry Austin?
well, friend of mine. He owns it. I forgot the name of his sound company, but Henry owns a sound company. He used to do all our sound at the city of Los Angeles. He's out of San Diego, that area. Good man. Good man.
Is
I
Jim
can't get him
Gable
on
in
the show
San,
either.
is it Jim Gable in San Diego or Tahoe?
He's in San Diego.
No, Jim. He's in San Diego now.
Well, Vista. He used to live a couple miles from Shadone.
Yeah.
You should
Shadone
connect me
is.
with your-
I saw Shadone on Facebook the other day. He was commenting on something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Bernie. That's it. Bernie Broderick had posted something, and then Jim had
Dave.
Dave made some sort of comment. Oh, it's good to be old. I have to tell you, good to be old. All right.
Sam Barco showed up on Robert's deal on Monday. Talked for a while.
Yeah. Talking about the that object that shall not be mentioned by name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want. Well, we mentioned it because of
so.
the Eagles.
I know you will. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have that restriction on our show. You know.
Yeah, we just got tired of hearing about it.
Yeah. It's there. It's there. Las Vegas is there for sure.
What did you do with the cows in the field and the stick holding up the power line?
Oh, well, I left. Thank God I left. You know, it's an experience being out there for sure. For a city boy to be that deep into the rural area of Thailand, it is an experience that I wouldn't wish on anybody. You know, it's a learning experience, especially when so few people out there, and I mean really, I should say nobody speaks English. But thank God, you know, one of the benefits of being out there is that the cell service is spectacular because they never had landlines. So they put up cell towers everywhere, and everybody's got great cell service, amazing cell service for like $2 a month. You know, that's it. You know, it's phenomenal.
I was surprised you could send me that file I needed from out there in your car, which was very helpful, by the way. It definitely did the trick.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. Yeah, that was I wouldn't have done that for anyone else but you, probably, because I didn't want to talk to anybody at that time but my friends. So yeah, so I'm sitting out in this cow pasture. There's no, you know, as Kurt was saying, there's only 2 wires being held up by like a bamboo stick, you know, electrical wires. You know, and I'm sitting in my car, and I happen to have my laptop with me, and I was able to actually pull it up on my laptop, and then what do they call it? When you use your cell phone to hotspot. I was able to hotspot it and send him a file that he needed from Dropbox, which was online. So it was pretty cool.
Definitely helped me out. Hey, connect me with your buddy in San Diego. If he knows
Henry?
Jim. Yeah.
Yes, I will. Henry Austin, great guy. He would love to. He's really active in preserving what we do, our industry, and documenting it for the future, so people could go back and look at what we guys did in this period of time before there was a digital.
So, yeah, well, then I should know the guy then.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Good man, very, very good man, Henry and Karen, known them forever. Anyway, so who's got something? What about Stagecoach? Speaking of California, anybody going to Stagecoach?
I'm going to be actually in the Coachella. I'll be in the Coachella Valley with Hotel California next week, but we're at Spotlight 29 Casino as opposed to a festival. But
well, Stagecoach now is outsold every other festival, including Coachella. I guess they're selling a lot of tickets.
Well, you know,
It's country.
They just rebrand the same hologram. Like they literally leave everything the same, and they just change the signs. They take down the, hip hop sign and put up some cowboy boots. And it's economics of scale. It's much better to build it once and use it twice than to build it once and use it once.
Yeah,
I guess so. Anyway, who else got something they want to say? Anybody has anything that they want to say?
Well, Josh from Wisconsin came by to see my show the other day. Got
Oh,
that-
by the way, Josh just texted me a little while ago saying that he's sorry he can't make it, but he's actually working.
yeah. Well, he
I'm
came.
working and I made it.
Yeah, we miss you too.
Well, you are the boss. He's not the boss.
But he came
Yeah.
by and we hung out with the band and all, and enjoyed the show. And it was nice to see him. And then it was it. Goodbye.
Cool.
So I'm going to be in Flagstaff. Anybody there? Fred, you coming to Flagstaff
When?
next week? No, the 5th, I think. July 5th.
Let me look. That's a Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could probably go to Flagstaff. What is that? You guys are playing up there?
Yeah. At
The Pepsi Center or whatever it is?
the I gotta look it up. It's right here. At
I'm headed
the
over to,
Pepsi Amphitheater.
Yeah, that's the one that everybody seems to play. Never been there.
Well, come on up. Hang out.
Drop me your phone number somewhere. Email
do-
me,
I'll do it on this.
text me, put it in the chat.
Chris might recognize our delays.
Ah, very
Oh,
nice.
what actually is that delay?
It's an X40. We have two X40s behind front of house. And the
Nice.
TV
Chris?
meter in front of them, so we can get a little extra push to the back that's after the meter.
Very
And
nice.
has anybody heard the X80? Did anybody hear it in Vegas?
I wasn't able to go. Will went and he heard it and said it was amazing. And we've got 6 on order already.
Yeah, apparently somebody in China ordered 238 of them.
I'm not surprised.
Wow, that's a
We're
lot of
getting-
speakers.
We're getting in line now because we're not going to see him until first quarter 25, I think. So I'll
Yeah.
have him part of the plan for next season.
Do you have any mosquito spray? It was a lot over that 10 over there. What do you call that?
I don't. If it's not in the work box up there, then I don't have any here.
Thoughts?
No, we don't have it. Sorry,
You're sending a sweater out to get some money more.
my kid is here doing his first gig ever.
Your kid?
Oh, that's so cool. Congratulations.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, anyway,
Trying to
I
scare him out
kinda
of the business.
yeah,
It's not that bad.
anyway. Hey, if anybody is watching right now on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, we're going to say goodbye on live social media. I really screwed the pooch this week, but if you don't want to be screwed, come on into the show, become part of the panel. And remember, everything you heard today was an opinion. So I don't even know if anybody is watching it. It shows that I am streaming, but I'm looking at YouTube right now and it doesn't look like it is streaming. So I'm just going to shut it off and we'll just talk amongst ourselves and say goodbye to the rest of the world if anybody is watching, which I doubt they are. So see you next week for the 214th meeting. By the way, you make it happen. Take care. I didn't make it happen today. I got caught. There you go.